Never fear, Sendersh is here. Today I have a Dragon Ball Theory discussion about the kaioken. Now, you've probably heard someone say this before, that kaioken and kaioken times 2 are the same thing and they're both 2 times multipliers. Today I want to argue that point. I believe they are two separate things. There is the kaioken and there is kaioken times 2, and they are different. And I say this because both in the fight against Vegeta and the fight against Captain Ginyu, Goku treats them as if they're different things. Against Vegeta, Goku uses Kaioken, then he uses Kaioken times 2, and then he complains that even twice Kaioken is not enough to face Vegeta. So I'll have to try Kaioken times 3, which Kaioken times 3 puts him a little bit above Vegeta, until Vegeta goes to use his energy attack, and it's strong enough to need Kaioken times 4 Kamehameha to overpower Vegeta's Galick Gun. And there, Goku makes a distinction between Kaioken and Kaioken times 2, and is surprised that neither of those was sufficient to stand up to Vegeta. Then you get to Captain Ginyu, and Goku's power level, when it reaches that 180, that is actually using Kaioken. Because he claims, well, he actually states that he's using his Kaioken, and that's his max power without using what he terms as bursts of extra energy. And he says, and then I'm even stronger when I use these bursts of energy, which is what then becomes Kaioken times 2 and 3 and 4 and 10 and 20 that we see him use against Vegeta. We see him use against Frieza before he goes Super Saiyan. Of course, he only uses the regular Kaioken against Ginyu because that was all he needed, was the regular Kaioken. How I'm going to explain this is Kaioken, he's got his base energy, and then he's got his Kaioken energy level, which is his maximum output for standard fighting. He can use Kaioken and he can maintain regular Kaioken kind of like he does Super Saiyan transformation. Yes, it's a boost to his energy. It's a much, much smaller boost, but it's a boost to his energy that he can actually maintain for extended periods of time. Whereas when you get to Kaioken times 2, and he starts doubling his base, Kaioken times 3 tripling his base, Kaioken times 4 quadrupling his base to 10 times his base and 20 times his base, with Kaioken times 10 and times 20, those he can only maintain for very short amounts of time. And of course, the higher the level, the more damage he's likely to take to his body. And that's kind of the distinction there. Kaioken, I would say, is a 1.5 multiplier of Goku's base level. So when he's facing Vegeta and his base level is 8,000, we know Kaioken times 2 puts him at 16. So he could go and maintain at a steady, consistent base for his fight, Kaioken at 12,000. So kind of in the middle of the two. And that's, when you're dealing with those levels, the difference between Kaioken and Kaioken times 2 are not quite so great. 12,000, 16,000. He goes from, I think, the 8,000 base to Kaioken putting him at 12. Then Kaioken times 2, doubling his base, puts him at 16. And then you go on from there. Which would mean Goku facing Ginyu. Ginyu says he estimates Goku's power to be about 90, 89, 90. And then he goes and uses Kaioken and he's at 180. And I know a lot of people use that as their argument for saying Kaioken is the same as Kaioken times 2. But who's to say Ginyu was right in estimating Goku's maximum power level? All the people who seem to be able to do that, they always seem to be off just a little bit. So I would say that Goku's maximum power was actually the same as Ginyu's maximum power, or his base power. But then using Kaioken, again, 1.5 multiplier, 120,000, half of that is 60, and that also adds up to 180. So I would say base power, he was on par with Captain Ginyu. And then using Kaioken, and just regular Kaioken, he's able to put Ginyu's power to shame. So that's my explanation. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Feel free to comment to agree or disagree, whichever the case may be. I hope you'll like the video. Feel free to share it. If you have not done so, to subscribe to my channel. This has been Super Saiyan 7 Cinderish with another episode of Dragon Ball Theory Discussion, and I'll be back with you with another episode in the near future.